My bad, my bad. So, first off, can you tell the fans and listeners who you are and where are you from?
Yo, it's your boy Didda Joe, and I come straight from Indianapolis, Indiana, born and raised on East Side all day.
Dope, dope, man. And how long you been pursuing music as your career, and what made you decide you wanted to be an artist?
Man, really, music has been my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's a singer, my dad's a musician, so the cool thing was it was like when I was born, it was like the best of both worlds colliding, and so man, just ever since that, like it was like something I could never escape. So it was like always okay, music is what I'm meant to do.
Definitely. And you said that your mom is a singer and your dad is a musician. So, pretty dope because I
Yeah.
know I know you, I know your brother Mink and your dad Tony. So you come from a very talented musical family. What was it like being a kid in a musical family? Like, did it help you become the artist you are today, or did it, make it harder for you because you had talented parents yourself?
Man, it was like the absolutely best inspiration I could have.
Hmm.
Growing up, I remember, I was always finding a reason to tag along to my dad's band rehearsals, or I remember my bro Mink, man, he would have like this demo version of FL Studio, and it was
Yep.
like every moment I had to just like speak on the computer. I would just fall behind him and try to figure out how he was making beats and stuff, and he would always tell me like he came back and would hear like full records and stuff I had made. So that was all my foundation, and
Yep.
so people like my parents, my stepbrother, and just the different people around me. I have uncles and all kinds of stuff. So it was always something that was in my face that was music, and it always
Hmm.
served as my muse to build up what I wanted to do.
Now, when you were coming up, besides your parents, what were some of the other artists or people you studied or mimicked to create the Didda Joe sound? Not saying you followed them, but who'd you study and who'd
Yeah,
you learn from?
man. I think the most obvious person was for me Prince. Man,
Mm.
Prince got all the playtime in my dad's car growing up. I remember, man, I would hear like his raunchy records when I was just like 10 years old, trying to figure out what he was talking about.
Right.
So, yeah. But man, since I'm a musician as well, I drew from a lot of different places, man. I love everybody from Jimi Hendrix to
Hmm.
Lenny Kravitz. I mean, Michael Jackson, Babyface, Music Soul Child, D'Angelo. But I also went to other worlds, man. So a lot of people don't realize that, I learned from the John Mayers, bands like the Beatles or
Mm.
Incubus. One of my favorite musicians, Steve Vai, the Stevie Wonders even. But, I just try to always draw from wherever, something was presented to me. So I never like put a cap on that.
Yeah, so it's definitely obvious you said Prince, and it's I laughed when you said your dad had you riding around the Prince because I'm like, man, some of those songs, when I think about it, were those appropriate? But that's the great thing about music is if you don't know what it means, then it's okay. But if you know the concept behind it, then it's a little vulgar and a little bit. So when I talk to people about you all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time, I compare you to a Jimi Hendrix or a Prince. So it
Yeah.
definitely it shows who you studied, but you've done a great job. I feel separating yourself. Like every time there's a comparison, there's something else
Oh,
about you that we can say, nah, he's his own lane. So I salute you for that.
oh yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, I just feel like with that being said, man, my biggest thing is to show people that people like Prince existed and his
Yep.
essence was here. I feel like, man, we're just in a point in time, especially like with singers or musicians, where we don't get the full value that you did when you would hear like James Brown or again a Stevie Wonder or something.
Right.
And I want to kind of keep the essence alive. So just having my own sound within it is even more amazing because I'm really just out here carrying that torch for the people before me that I learned from who aren't here. The Hendrix
Yep.
and people like such who already passed on in their time.
Now, as you being an artist, you have a very interesting story to me. You actually left Indianapolis and you pursued your dream, and I
Yeah.
salute you for that because, like I said, I know you for a long time we've known each other, but we're just now starting to actually interact. But Mink always spoke of his brother, like, "Yo, Matt, you need to check my brother, man. He's at Full Sail. Yo, Matt, he's working with blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Like, I salute you for that. What was it that finally made you get up and leave the city? Like, was it your support system saying that's the only way it's gonna happen, or did you have an opportunity that presented itself, and then you went and chased it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess a little bit of both those things you mentioned because at first, yeah, like you mentioned, I went to Full Sail University. Shout out to Orlando, Florida. And basically, with that, man, it was kind of just like I, just had to go to school, had to pick a college. I never wanted to go to college, man.
Right.
Like, but my mom forced that, so I just figured, okay, let me find a music school. So I chose that one. I think I was there for like a year, man, and I honestly just didn't go to classes,
Mhm.
learned from the graduating students, and I just focused on music, man. Had a couple offers, and it got so bad that my parents, like my mom and dad, who have been divorced for years,
Okay.
they get together with Mink's mom, my stepmom,
Yep.
and I remember them calling me from the same place, and I'm like, whoa, it's serious. And they're like, son, come home and chase your dreams.
Yep.
So after that, I think that was like the most ultimate blessing. And so from there, man, yeah, like I get a call some months later from a friend who's like, hey, I got some opportunities in LA. I think you should come out here. Next thing you know, I'm flown out and I'm, just in LA and just never wanted to leave.
Yeah, I definitely mentioned that. I was looking at some of your posts, and you mentioned like you never imagined that you would be an artist. You dreamed it, but then you never imagined you'd be living in the top of Beverly Hills for free. So like you have to dream big. You have to go for more
Yeah,
than what you imagine. Like that's why I'm so big at what I do is because I think a lot bigger than what other people think. Like they think just do one thing, and I'm like, well, let's do 100 of those things. So it just shows
absolutely.
your character. Um, what do you say to other artists who, if they just took that step, that's what changes the game for them? Like, would you give them any kind of advice or any kind of you know uh, talking
Yeah,
point that might get them over the edge? I guess.
man, absolutely, man. The thing about that is, man, I truly think my journey has brought me to be an advocate for something, bigger than my music.
Yep.
And that's to really express to all these, upcoming creatives and artists, like, I've been there. Like, I've been through this struggle. I've been through that hard time, and I've seen so much, man. And I really felt like I went through certain things so I can come back and do just that and tell other artists, like, hey, these dreams that you guys are chasing,
Yep.
it's real.
Yep.
It's very real. All it is just waiting for you. It's not gonna. I mean, you gotta go to it the same way you gotta lay down and fall asleep so that you can be rested and have regular dreams in your head. It's the same thing in reality, man. You gotta go after it. You have to present yourself to that dream that you're chasing. And I mean, when it came to me doing, I mean, yeah, I never expected to go to LA. I never expected to end up living there for the time I did.
Yep.
But it showed me that you just never know what to expect. But you have to put yourself in that position, and you have to have faith in yourself in order to take that leap. That's going to take you where you're trying to get to. I mean, I think the problem nowadays I see with a lot of our artists in Indianapolis is, people they find those excuses or find whatever reason to hinder themselves and hold themselves back,
Yep.
and they get frustrated, and you don't really see the full potential of those artists or hear about those. But take that leap. I triple dog dare you. Take that leap of faith and watch what happens.
Yeah, definitely. And then when we're talking about you going to LA, let's just make it kind of clear for the listeners, right? So your cousin is a very prominent DJ. I don't know if you want to put it out there or not. And like I said, I've known you for
Yeah,
a long time, and I've known your cousin for a long time. So one day I get an email saying, "Yo, check out my cousin. He's doing some real major shit in LA right now. He's working with my people, Troy Marshall, Sylvian Marshall." I'm like, "Yo, dude, I know did it. Like that's fam too. So what's up?" So you
yeah,
actually were in
yeah,
LA, moving with some of the biggest, baddest tastemakers in the game. Salute to the Marshalls. And
yeah.
what you know, you never use that stuff. I don't see you bragging about it. You've worked with some A-list talent. You've done some amazing things, but I never see you be like big time on anyone. So
Yeah,
is
man.
it because you haven't reached that final point you're trying to get to, or is it just you just have a bigger picture and it's not that important who you know or what you're doing, it's what you're doing with your music.
Yeah, man. For me, man, I really think it's just been like I guess I just don't want to brag.
Yeah.
Like I'm the type that I'll let my work speak for itself, because I'm in it for the music and the inspiration.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's good to let people know what you're doing, let them in your world, because again it kind of goes back to letting people know that hey, it really happens.
Yep.
But I just never want my work and my mission to be outshined by the people who are surrounding me because
Right.
it's so easy to get caught up in the smoke and mirrors, man.
Yeah.
Like hey, I met this celebrity, I'm working with that person, and that's amazing. But I think it's just a little bit different when you're trying to be the one who takes over that limelight and stuff, so that you can put out there what it is that you have to say and convey to the world. So that's my main focus, man. It's like I'm more so worried about, okay, how do I become that exciting person that someone's like,
Yeah.
oh, I worked with Didda.
Right.
So
Right.
it's yeah, really tunnel vision for me, I guess.
And I gotta salute your team, man. Like I said, I always heard from Mink that Didda's got one of the best teams, man. Like the shit they got him doing in LA. And then you introduced me to Mama E and Sebastian, man. And I gotta commend you, man. Those are some stand-up people, and they really know the game. So, how did you meet them? And
Yeah.
what made you decide to move with them and push your creativity to the world through their avenues or through their relationships?
Man, really, it was a crazy story, but I guess I'll give the condensed version, man. So, I actually, like I said, I did have a chance, man. I was living in Hollywood Hills, and at one point in time, I actually was like up there with my big brother. Shout out to Lumpy Short, amazing, amazing actor, amazing, talented dude, and an amazing guy. So
Mm.
shout out to Lumpus. But weirdly enough, man, it was him and my boy J-Bo. Now, for those who don't remember J-Bo, if you know the Young Bloods,
Oh yeah.
J-Bo was one of the Young Bloods. And
Oh,
so it's
okay.
crazy because I was like, man, yeah, like how the hell did I end up living with one of the Young Bloods? And man, so now that that picture is painted,
Yep.
we're just like working, and they always would bring people around from the industry. So one night, I just remember us partying, and J Bo brings a friend to party with us, and I'm like, man, this girl's a total rock star.
Yep.
And it was just wild because we get to talking about music. Next thing you know, this girl was so locked in. I literally watched her go from just, enjoying life and just being in the moment, celebrating with everybody. So she came back suited, had like A&Rs from Warner Music, and it was just the most amazing thing to watch because I saw her dedication.
Right.
I saw her spark and her drive, and I saw that it had to do with me.
Mm.
This same woman happened to, save my life when I, was really about to be homeless in LA. So,
Oh wow.
Eric, that's how I met Erica. And years later, man, like we just recrossed paths. And I told her, like, you know what, man, you care for me. You've
Yep.
shown me that you're in it for me. You need to be on my team. And, it's been history from there.
Yep.
And she met me, she introduced me to Sebastian along this road,
Yep.
who turned out to be another guy who was just like a very hidden gem who, he's very successful businessman, man. He, shout out to Create Music Group
Yep.
and everything he's kind of done. And it's just amazing to watch because these are not people who are just dedicated to the business side, but they're just really great freaking people, man. And, I'm just honored, man. It's been a real blessing working with these guys.
Yeah,
So shout out to them.
definitely, man. I had to make sure to mention them because I'm super impressed with both of them. Like they're super big in the industry, but they don't act like it. I love that shit. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm nobody in the industry, but I try and pride myself in being the same person, regardless if I was super famous or if I was poor. You know what I mean? So I relate
Hell
to
yeah.
people who act like that. So I salute them on that.
Right.
Now let's get to the music, man. I wanted to give you your shine because you are a star to me. You've had a lot of successful stories. You have a great catalog. The Road James Miguel songwriting credits for Too Much. Like, come on, man, that's just a humble brag, but you are on one of the biggest songs right
Yeah.
now. How did that link up? And then, what has been the response so far for that opportunity that you did.
Oh man, and thank you for that too. But man, so I mean, I'm like the story guy here, man. So
Mm.
I'll keep it sweet, short. But so the cool thing is because we have a concert coming up too. We'll get to, of course. But man, I met Ro at like a concert, and this is the last concert I had actually done with my band. So it makes it so cool because this concert coming up is with my band finally too.
Yep.
Ro pulls up to the show, man. We met through his cousin Solo. Shout out him, man, my bro. And Solo brought him to the show, and just from there, man, we just clicked.
Mm.
So I remember, man, I'm in LA, and Ro tells me randomly, just pull up. I go to the studio. It's the man. It was the legendary Westlake Studios where Thriller was recorded, man. So you walk in, and you actually see on the wall in glass Michael Jackson's
Sheesh.
glove,
Right.
the plaques. So it's like shout out to the hometown hero Michael Jackson, R.I.P.
Yep.
brother. But man, just walking in, I was literally only supposed to play guitar.
Okay.
And I would have been cool with that too, man, because that
Yep.
record comes out and it has Brandy on it, and Brandy is such another big influence. So that amazing thing happens, and I just remember, man, we ended up working on one more record that night, and I never thought that it was going to, become what it was. But the cool thing I have to share about this story is, man, before all of this even came to, I had a conversation once with Ro saying, man, I need that record. You're signed with Miguel's same label, Mark Pitts and somebody. Man, I'm dying for a Miguel and Ro James record.
Mm.
And then it even got to the point, I wrote down on a piece of paper, I like writing down my manifestations and my goals
Yep, you got
sometimes,
to.
just, for omens. But, man, I literally write down, before the end of this year, I'm going to work with Ro James and Miguel.
Mm.
And I just let it be. I lost the paper, everything, so I didn't think about it.
Yep.
But then, yeah, so next thing you know, I'm watching Ro James promote his album, and next thing you know, man, someone's hitting me up like, hey, man, this sounds like your voice on a song. And Ro, I'm listening. I'm like, this can't be me. The caption says, are you guys ready for Too Much featuring Miguel? So that moment was the most mind-blowing thing ever, not so much just for the fact that, I worked with one of my idols in R&B, but, I always have to point out the fact that I wrote it down, I believed in it, and it happened, man.
Yep.
So, that was just the most magical part about that whole thing to me.
Yeah, I got it. That's true, man. So important to believe. Write it down. Speak it into existence. Like, people get mad at me sometimes because I move so fast, but I write my big dreams down and then I look at them every day. And then they move a little bit faster. So stuff that's supposed to take 10 years to accomplish, comes to find out, we got it in 3 months. You know what I mean? So it's because of believing that anything is possible through God and through your talents and your gifts. Like if you're giving your gift, you were giving it to Miguel and Ro James. You weren't tripping off of the back end or percentage points. You weren't even giving it to Miguel. You just were involved with it, and then it manifested itself because that's what it was meant to be in the first place. So that says a lot about you, and I commend you for that. I also want to talk to you about the hottest record that I've heard R&B wise for a long time is Crush. I've sent that to over 45, 50 DJs in one night, and everyone came back like, this is the firest R&B song I've heard. People were like, I'm gonna add it, you know what I mean? So it's definitely a big hit, man. How are your fans reacting to the song, and the listeners? What What is the response for Crush so far?
Oh, man, it's really been nothing but love, and it's so amazing, man, because when I had did the record, it was one of those ones that I was really mad at this girl, whoever I was mad at the time. So
right. It was
shout
personal.
out to her. Yeah, so it was like, nothing's better to me than to feel like something that strongly and put it into your art, and to have people respond so consistently to, the way they have. It's been nothing but love. The ladies love it. I think this is one of their favorites of mine. And we haven't even really begun with this song, man. So I'm really excited that it happens, man. It's barely the beginning with that record, and already so far it's just been getting the most
Yep.
amazing love that I never even expected from it. So yeah, man, shout out to that.
So it's like, because I've been a fan of you for a while, like we said. So album 1993 is the project, a lot of people are familiar with. You had singles like Smoking Session and a few other big hits on there, but this Crush record just sounds so much more grown up to me. It sounds like you found your confidence in this record. Like your other records, you've always been dope singing and playing guitar and doing everything, but it's like Crush came together and it was the perfect harmony of everything you do. So I think that's why your fans really like it. I know that's why I like it a lot. It's such a grown up sound for you. So I salute you for that and that song.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, I just I've really been trying to just like level up and just really find myself as I'm making my own changes, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, like that's I'm glad you know that I'm doing something right here. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know you're a busy person, so we're not going to take too much more of your time, but I can't let you get off without talking about TikTok and your Family Matters quarantine episode you did. Like, that was some of the funniest shit I ever seen because it's simple
Oh,
and, it's just like, okay. And, you're also doing the clones on Instagram. If you haven't seen it yet, that's one of the best things on Instagram to me. But what's the motivation behind that TikTok episode of Family Matters, and then the clones? What are those, and how'd you come up with it?
man. Well, first off, shout out to my boy. I have to shout out my boy Josh Finch, man. He's a really good friend of mine, and I actually got the idea from him because it was just like he originally, I think he remade Full House,
Mm.
and I was like, man, like I have to do this for the culture.
Yep.
You know, had to do it on our side. So, man, it came out of sheer boredom. Me and my friend, my best friend, who was a part of it with me, shout out ETA, who's in my band, New Fellowship, and man, we're just some freaking goofballs, man. So I think really just one day before rehearsal, man, we just decided, man, let's show the people who we are. Let's show the
Yep.
world like what we like to do when we're bored, and that came about. So,
Yep.
and I really hope people will follow me on TikTok. It's at Didda Joe 6. You can't forget the 6, so DIDDAJOE 6. And yeah, go check that out, man, because we want to keep the content coming. And
Yep.
if I can get the support from people, then hey, then like you said, we also have some clones that I've been having fun with, man. Which
Mhm.
it's really I think the clones is just me kind of just showing my different personalities, the different sides of me.
Yep.
I just wear a hat, man. I do a lot, and I kind of want to show that to the world, man.
Mm.
And so there's been times I would joke, man, it would be so awesome if I can clone myself
Right.
and be a one man band.
Right.
So I decided, you know what, I had to bring that to life, and so yeah, we went and cloned myself, man, and the response has been so amazing. So I'm definitely gonna keep that going for everybody,
Mm.
and it's gonna be some more cool things going on. So yeah, y'all keep tuned, man. You can follow me on Instagram or TikTok, wherever you go. I'm always keeping content for y'all, so definitely keep tuning in and let me know how y'all feel.
Yeah, on the clones, man, the next level of the clones is you give each of them their own color jacket, and they all have their own name, and they're known for a certain sound. So then, this guy is gonna do this song, and this guy's gonna do this song, and people start thinking they're different people, and then in the end, it's all you. So at the show, it's just you with multiple personalities or something. So it's a genius
Yeah.
idea. People tuning in because the talent's there, but then it's like, yo, is he the same person, or yo, does he have a twin? Like, is this what is it? Five is I don't know what it's called when you do
Yeah,
multiples.
yeah, and it's like I duplicate them too. So I mean,
Yeah.
I was glad because a friend finally picked out like, oh man, the latest one I did looked like I made more clones, and I was like, yeah, I need to make more clones. So I think we're gonna keep duplicating it, man, while people are just enjoying it. Because I mean, hey, I guess they just can't get enough of dinner, so
Yeah.
I'll give them more.
Well, and you got to remember, man, because you've done so much amazing stuff as we talked about in this interview, but the fans and listeners who are not you don't really know that part. And that's what people get excited about in
Yeah,
music right now. It's not the music so much, it's the person behind the music. Now, if you got dope music, that's important, of course. But are you engaging? Are you creative? Are you trying to do stuff for your fans to make them better lives or give them uplifting meaning? So I think you definitely are on the right path, man. The hashtag now back to the music is probably one of the best hashtags. I'm giving you credit for a lot of things, man, because I think you're ahead of the game on what you're doing social media wise. So I salute that. And then, you know, before we get off here, we got to talk about the event on Sunday at Epic Lounge, the Children of the Corn with you, Steve Rains, uh, Devin Golder, and Brothers Footman. Man, I'm looking so forward to this show. It's a concert, gonna blow the city apart, man. How are you thinking this reaction, or how do you think the reaction is gonna be for it, and what are you excited about for the show?
Man, well, of course, putting this concert together, my vision was to just do something, man, to change the narrative of how we support each other. And I mean, it turned into something even more incredible because I realized, like, Indianapolis, just we don't get a lot of love in our R&B community.
Yep.
So the purpose of the Children of the Corn, I mean, Children of the Corn, it's just we're children of, we're natives of Indianapolis,
Yep.
and it's like we're hidden or something. So this is about us coming to light and stuff, and getting to put out the Indianapolis R&B scene. Yep. So I'm really excited to do that, man, to really give a light to a part of our local scene and music that really doesn't get to breathe as much. Yep. And I'm really excited just at the fact that these are all artists that I've known, I've grinded with, I've worked with, and it's just amazing to be able to give these guys an opportunity to share a stage. Yep. During the time right now. My band, this is our first show together as a full group that we started with. So I'm really excited to just have these guys and the new members kind of joining us, man. Again, they're called the New Fellowship. So yep. These guys, you definitely want to keep an eye out for them too because of the amazing talent they have. They're very dope extension of Didda Joe. So man, it's so much to be excited about. Yep. We have an amazing show set up, man. We're gonna really, we're trying to bring everybody an experience here, man. We want to do more than a concert, so right. We're hoping that everybody leaves with an experience, and not just feeling like you just heard, more live music, with good voices and good musicians. So, man, we're gonna really turn things up.
Definitely, man. Well, before we get off here, man, is there anything else you want to let the fans and listeners know about you? And something that they might not know about you, like something different outside of the music, like what makes Didda Joe different? Like I said, that's the most important thing to me for artists right now is why are you better than the other artists that sings too? You know what I mean? So we'll go ahead and get out of here with that. So give your shout outs and then let the fans and listeners know how to get a hold of you, and I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Well, everybody listening, this your boy Didda Joe. Hey man, if you guys are looking for the next Prince, the next Hendrix, or just some feel-good vibes, that are different than your norm. Check me out. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you go. Christian Mingle, Tinder, wherever. You just look up Didda Joe. So follow me. It's DIDDAJOE. One more time. That's DIDDAJOE. And man, you guys heard it. We got a very big, crazy concert going outdoors at Epic Lounge this Sunday, September 6th. Starts at 3 o'clock, and we're going until 7 o'clock. So you have plenty to see. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your vibes, your drinks, whatever's going to make you feel good, and let's have some fun. People are like, come on. So I hope to see everybody out there. And, yeah, man, make sure you guys stream my music. There's a lot of new music coming out, and I'm excited for it. So I hope you guys are going to stay tuned in.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for the interview, man.